Hello friends, it's Liam and I am back to talk about another hair system from LaVivid. I'm currently wearing it, obviously. Somehow I always get the chance to make these videos on the day that I shower and need to take it off and clean it and redo it. So it's lifting up a little in the front, but that's fine. It's okay. Everything's good. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm going to read. I have some information here on my phone, so I'm going to read that for you. This particular one is called Prometheus, and let me get to the information. Okay, it is a silk hair system with a lace front. It has a silk top base with 1/2 inch lace front and 1 inch of thin polyurethane around the sides and the back. For the silk top, a tri-layer system is used, meaning that when the hair is knotted, the knots are concealed between the layers. The hair is then injected through the silk, making the knots 100% invisible and giving the illusion that the hair is growing from your own scalp. And I can attest that this is true. It does indeed look like it is growing from my scalp. Hello, I just booped my microphone with my nose. But it 100% looks like it's growing from my scalp, which is super awesome. And I mean, you can also get the same effect from really good lace systems and the full polyurethane systems. But I mean, to be honest, I find this a little more convincing than those. And the good thing about this is it is a little more breathable than the, actually a lot more breathable than the full polyurethane systems. I'll insert a picture of the base, and you can also see pictures on my Instagram. There's a tiny little section in the front that's lace, and then it cuts off to where the silk begins. And if you get adhesive in the area where the silk begins, it is nearly impossible to get the adhesive out of that area, which sucks because now I have gross adhesive buildup and nobody wants that. I'm truly debating on getting a textile cleaning gun so I can blast the adhesive out of there. So yeah, I would definitely use caution when applying tape or adhesive and try to avoid getting it in that area, although it is pretty difficult to not get it in that area. And that's truly the biggest con to this system is just if you get adhesive there, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to get it out. But I have had it. How long have I had it now? I don't remember how long I've had it. I'll put it up on screen when I figure it out. But I have had it for several months. I really, really, really do love it. It is very natural looking, very realistic. It feels great. Unfortunately, I think it only comes in 2 dark colors, a natural black color and then some other black color. So I did have to dye my actual hair to match the system. But I do think, I'm not 100% sure, but I do think that they can do a custom system for you with this base and use the hair color that you actually want. I really, really love it, and I think it looks great. And the lace here up front looks, totally normal, fine, not really detectable. I will say also, if you use tape adhesive for the hairline, that kind of makes it a little more noticeable for some reason. I guess maybe the dirt and oil and stuff builds up a little more easily on the tape, and so it just doesn't make the hairline quite as unnoticeable. Is that a word? If you use a tape adhesive, it's more likely that people are going to notice that the hairline is not your actual hairline. So I would recommend using a liquid adhesive. I use Ghost Bond and it works very, very well, but in my opinion, it is a little more difficult to clean the Ghost Bond adhesive than it is to clean the tape, which is why I was using the tape adhesive to begin with, because it's just a little easier. But, of course, I noticed that it made the hairline a little more noticeable, and I didn't want that. But, I mean, I don't often wear my hair pushed back anyways. Like the only time I wear it pushed back is if I'm wearing a headband, and then if I'm worried about the hairline, I can just pull the headband up to cover that. But usually I wear it like kind of down in my face, so I don't have to worry about the hairline quite as much. But I would suggest, if you're someone who likes to wear your hair pushed back, that you do use a liquid adhesive instead of a tape. But of course you can try both to see which works best for you. And where the polyurethane is, you can still use the tape adhesive, which makes cleanup a lot easier. For me at least. It may be different for you. And of course it's not particularly breathable where the polyurethane area is, but I mean that's okay because it's just on the sides and on the back, and then up top you still have the breathable silk layer. I really have been enjoying it for the summer months because it's obviously very, very hot here in Texas, so this makes it to where my scalp gets, you know, a little bit of air, as opposed to the one that I reviewed prior, which was the thin skin system. You know, still I love the thin skin systems because they are so much easier to clean than the lace and the silk. It's really not a big deal at all for me to get those nice and clean. So this one is definitely still a struggle to clean, as are the lace systems. But as I mentioned, I'm thinking about getting one of the textile guns so I can just blast it all out of there. This particular system comes in 3 different stock sizes, so you can get 6x8, 7x9, or 8x10. With these, you can't really like trim down what you need apart from the hairline. That's really the only area that you can trim. So I would recommend measuring your head just to like make sure like you're gonna get the right size. 8x10 I'm gonna assume would be much too big for most people. Right now I am wearing the 7x9, and even that is a little bit too big for me on the sides here, but it's whatever, I don't really care. But again, you can get custom systems and like where they will like where you can measure your head exactly, and you can send them the precise measurements of your head so it will fit you perfectly. Here's the colors that they come in. Where did it go? Okay, so currently the colors available are natural human hair black, which I think is the one that I have, and it's faded a little bit since, you know, having it for a few months and showering. Why can't I say that? Anyway, washing it has faded, and it has, I would say, more of a red undertone than a neutral undertone when the color fades. So red comes out a little bit more. Hair density is 130%. The hair type is Indian Remy human hair. It is obviously straight. I don't think it comes in like a curly type at all, but again, maybe it would be possible to do a custom system for that. And oh, the knots are bleached on the front hairline, so you don't have to worry about seeing those. And like the description mentioned, the knots are hidden between the layers of silk and everything, so you cannot see them on the top of the head. And it says replacement period between 8 to 12 months, but it has held up very, very well over the months and me washing and styling and all of that stuff. Honestly, I would say the only thing that is like taking the hair out is when I'm trying to clean all the adhesive off. Then like when I'm pulling it off of my head, 9 times out of 10 some hair is going to come out the other side just because it gets stuck to the adhesive, and so that pulls some hair out, which is a bummer, but there's still plenty of hair left in here, so it's not a big deal. Also, if you go to LaVivid's website, you will see photos of my face wearing the system, so that's fun. And please don't forget that you can use the code Liam15 for 15% off of your purchase. LaVivid was kind enough to give me that coupon code for you guys to use. Yeah, I think that if you are struggling with hair loss and thinking about a system, if you have the funds, I would for sure like try it out. And because, I mean, you never know how you're going to feel about it or how it's going to work for you unless you try. It's really great to have all these different types of options and not have to worry about side effects from different medications that can help with hair growth. Although I do still use like Rogaine around these areas because it's like thinning there, and I still have a lot of hair loss. Unfortunately, in areas that you're not supposed to lose hair from male pattern baldness, but I am anyway. Of course, all of the surgeries for hair replacement are incredibly expensive, much more expensive than hair systems. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me here, or you can reach out to me on Instagram, or you can reach out to LaVivid themselves, and I'm sure that they would be happy to answer any questions for you. I think that's all I have to say about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're all having a good day / week, and I will see you next time. Probably, hopefully, reviewing another hair system at some point. Thanks so much for watching.